Hello everybody, welcome to our new Dungeons & Dragons role-playing game show. Welcome to Madness of Land. So, today we're going to be starting the first season of Madness of Land, Dawn of a New Age. So we're going to go in seasons, and we'll kind of run through. The players may change through seasons, they might stay the same. It'll depend on these nice folks, if they want to stick around after the first season or not. Anyway. So, let us kind of dive into this by having everyone introduce their characters first. That's probably a really great place to start everything out. Why don't we kind of just start with how people are arranged around here? We'll start with Tesh and Nokren. No. Oh, whoops. I unmuted the wrong one.
Hold on. So, shall I go again?
Go again.
Yes, please.
Oh my god.
Practice.
Okay. Oh my god, so, I unmuted the wrong one. Technical issues.
Take two.
Technical issues. It's the curse. It's the curse. You can't get
First critical failure of the night.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm Tesh. I'm playing Nokren, who is a Dragonborn Paladin, who's not the most Paladin-y Paladin. He's Oath of Vengeance. He was a vigilante turned bounty hunter, and then he got picked up to join this little troop.
Cool.
And he's a little bit secretive, so that's all we know so far.
Alright, Grits, or Rachael. What's all about Grits?
So I'm playing Grits, Gretchen Grits Headbanger, the Hill Dwarf monk. So she is a guild artisan, used to be a cartographer, went out on a little bit of an expedition to help do some mapping, came back to find everybody murdered. So she kind of joined a monastery to try to help center herself to not go on a killing spree herself. And yes, that's where she's at now.
Sounds fine.
It'll be great.
Yes, it'll be fine. Rufus / Joe, what's your character Rufus all about?
I am a halfling rogue. I actually guarded a lot of sheep farmers when I was younger. I very much more to myself as well, so probably not a lot known about me. The village I did live in, unfortunately, while I was out in the fields, did get ransacked and burned. So I kind of traveled along until I found this place of rest.
Yes. All right, Tiv, tell us about Smith.
Hello, I'm Smith. Human, little sketchy. Most people just know me as a guy who sits there and puts a coin through his fingers. Part of the Church of Joaquin, so, traders and things like that. I don't look like much. Scruffy beard, short brown hair, brown eyes. I like to get lost in a crowd.
Okay. WinterBear, tell us about Tim.
I am playing Timior Fasenkir, a high elf wizard. Yeah, he's the most forgetful man on the planet. Basically doesn't remember his own name if you were to ask him, for the most part. He goes by Tim, and that's mostly what he remembers. He is old, or he doesn't know how old. He's forgotten, so a little bit weird.
Hey, forgetting your age is convenient. Then when people, you always will feel young.
Exactly. He's young at heart as well, and you'll probably see that he's very, he's happy when he's around younger folk, and he's very interested in the group, largely because he thinks they're all his best friends in the world when he actually sees them, though he will never remember their faces, and doesn't even remember them if you were to walk by them in a crowd. They'd have to stop him. He wouldn't notice them. He's the kind of guy who forgets everything, and that's pretty much all you know about him, and all he really knows about him for the most part.
Well, let's dive into today. So, we find ourselves on the high continent of Asteria. Asteria, a Pangea-like continent that has had millennia upon millennia of peace, prosperity. Ages ago, those of the civilized lands drove back the savage races, those that would not get along with them, would not join with civilization, to an area in the northeast of the continent known as the Wasteland. They built great walls and sealed them in, and for a long time, peace reigned. But everything began to change 100 years ago. To those of us that now know the story, of course, nothing was done for the first 30 years, because it was 30 years that the Wasteland was at war with itself. Those that warned about what was going on there were disregarded. The true source of this was a man known as the Dreadlord. Where he came from, unknown. But in a span of 30 years, he took every one of those races, slaughtered those that would not listen to him, and united them into a force. And then the tides came. The tides came upon the walls that had once kept these creatures out. From all across the civilized lands, men, women, able-bodied folks came to hold back the tide. 50 years went by where the walls held. Countless died on either side. Mounds of bodies on either side were just piled up to rot, as there was not enough space to transport them, to let alone bury them. Millions died on either side. But the walls fell. Lack of people, because, well, you can only get so many influx of truth before it ends. And the walls wore down. So, when the walls fell, though, they poured into our lands. It took 20 years for them to commit a genocide upon all of the civilized lands. And that is where we come into today's adventure. 6 months ago, the last kingdom that truly existed in these lands, the kingdom of Century, fell. After a 2-year siege by some of the troops of the Dread Army, they infiltrated it and drove out King Nathaniel Centurine, the last of his troops and the last of his citizens. For countless months, they had hit and run as they continued to try to retreat, dive deeper to the south towards an area known as the Wildlands. The Wildlands, of course, are a barrier where no civilization may land. A single person could survive there, but the creatures there, nah. Then, they came upon a point where they could no longer outrun the Dread Army. The Bell Bridge. They crossed the Bell Bridge, and King Centurine and his troops turned back to face the Dread Army. Nature came to their aid. The river swelled with rainwater, preventing rafts or fording for many troops. And of course, they took their troops, struck hard down the bridge, struck into the Dread forces, and devastated both their cavalry and their siege weapons. But upon this, they were encircled and destroyed. King Centurine died. Only 500 of his citizens survived and came to where we are now. Castle Egwin. Castle Egwin, under the Duke, is the last bastion of civilization on the edge of the Wildlands. So, we have our team. Citizens recruited by the military force of here to scout out what's going on. It has been a month since the Battle of Bell Bridge. Word from the survivors of the citizens say that perhaps you're only outnumbered 10 to 1. Maybe there's only 1,000 troops left. Who knows? You only have about 100 soldiers. At most, you could swell your ranks to probably about 1,000, recruiting from the able-bodied citizens. So, everybody give me stealth checks right now.
Oh no.
Okay. This is gonna go so well.
It will go wonderful.
It's gonna go
Sure.
amazing. Stealth?
Stealth.
Wow.
And
I rolled a 4.
then there's me.
You know what? It could have been worse.
It could have actually been worse. It's
Good old
it's-
heavy armor.
It's surprisingly fine. I'm just gonna say right now. I'll narrate what's going on. All of you find yourself in this. It's best to describe it as under a road. There's a kind of creek bed, a dry creek bed that kind of carves out the edge of a road, and most of what it under this one tree has fallen away with kind of root systems holding it together kind of under this road, where you all find yourself kind of crowded in, hiding, as you can hear the troop movement of a large group of creatures moving about. You hear kind of muffled cries and speaking. Smith, you can recognize there's a lot of, in a language you speak of, find them! Where are the oppressors? Kill them! Skin them alive! You can hear movement as they kind of are marching along, kind of spreading out and searching for you. All of you are trying to kind of keep quiet as you're kind of hiding in this thing, taking a little bit of shelter out of the way of prying eyes that seem to be looking for you. You can hear some getting close as you hear footsteps almost over top of you. And then we kind of flash back a little bit to earlier this morning, where all of you were called upon by the captain of the guards, Gavin Mollick, the commander of the armed forces. You remember him kind of approaching all of you and saying, "We don't know where they're exactly coming from, the forces of Dread Army, or how many they truly have. We need some more information. If we are in a siege condition, great. If we are in a position where we could fight back against them, even better. If we're in a point in time where we could fall very easily, we have to know. Please, all of you, do your best and find this out." Your assigned troops, Jonas Quillick, turns to you and says, "Are all of you good for traveling out into the wilds?"
Sure.
Nokren
Yeah.
will just nod.
Well, then we'll just
Nothing
mount
better
up.
to do.
I know an area pretty deep in. It's a little farther from the prescribed area, but there's a couple hills out that area. We might be able to get a good sight of see if we can see anything.
Quick question. Captain Quillick? Sir Quillick?
Captain.
Lieutenant Quillick?
Captain.
Captain Quillick. Please hold, and I'm going to reach into my pack, because I was a cartographer. I'm going to pull out a map and be like, "Are you speaking of this area?" and indicate the area that I
He'll
think he
point
might
it
be
out for
talking
you.
about.
He'll point it out for you, yeah.
Yeah, that has pretty good elevation that we could get some good sights on things. And might I recommend these woods over here would be great for hiding.
All right, we now flash back to you guys in the ditch. And you hear this kind of large kind of movement coming up, and one voice speaks out above the rest. None of you can understand it, except once again for Smith. "Have you found the sneaky oppressors yet? The Savior wishes to have them shown an example of for their insolence in spying with little eyes upon us. Bring them mostly alive, except for the tall one I could use a new helmet of a scaly kind. This helmet is wearing out. You can hear kind of some movement around, as you can kind of hear, like, you can hear, like, right above you, there seems to be, like, something up there, like, just making noises. Smith, you hear him, like, something out there? I think I hear something. You can hear, like, a lot of voices, and you hear, like, someone call out to him. Must just be a squirrel. Tasty squirrel. I will save squirrel for later. Must eat oppressors now. Much more tasty. And it just walks off. We flash back to another point in time, with the six of you climbing a hill. Everybody up at the hill, make me a perception check. Thank you very much.
Well, let's go down. Great.
Perception, you say? Good,
Hey.
sir.
The sun got in my eyes.
All right.
Not bad.
The thing that all of you can see once you
Except
top
me.
the hill, no, you can see this too, is spread out in front of you is just a sea of beings,
Oh, great.
seemingly having encamped in this area. You see countless tents and fires. The rest of you are actually quite perceptive and can kind of get a general idea about what you're seeing, except for Smith, who's like, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Distracted.
That's a lot of blood.
Oh.
You estimate there might be 20,000 here. They seem to be primarily of goblins, a large contingent of hobgoblins, and a still sizable chunk of bugbears, with a few other creatures. You do indeed see no sign of actual cavalry. You see a couple of goblin rider or warg riders coming in and out that seem to be acting as scouts. But you see no actual cavalry and no actual siege weapons.
That's a bonus.
It's kind of good and really bad.
Well, the fact that we don't see siege weapons doesn't help, considering you build those on site.
This is
But-
a lovely view.
But like,
But we thought we were only going to be outnumbered 10 to 1, and we are outnumbered. My math isn't so good, but I'm thinking it's like 200 to 1.
How many are there?
Yeah, this is not good.
Approximately 20,000.
Oh, yeah. We're about 20. Yeah.
Do we
200 to
see
1.
No,
Take
do we see
200.
any
the
kind of
good
like?
news is, if you manage to include all the able-bodied citizens, it's only 20 to 1.
Oh, only.
Good
do we
news.
see anything that could look like things that you would need to bring for siege weapons, like something that you could bring to build siege weapons or anything like that?
It looks just like they're kind of like camping out, and it looks like you can see a lot of activities with the scouts probably heading out. Waiting for a while, you see what appears to be the remains of a fellow band of scouts being drug in alive. They don't last long. So at least another one of the bands was captured. And then you kind of see this little glint coming from one of the towers that they kind of haphazardly set up to keep an eye out on things from above. And we skip back to
Oh.
a view below the road. You hear voices all around, save for maybe kind of straight in front of you. There's this dry creek bed. It feels as if they've moved off, but they're not far. What are you going to do? They very well might come back this way.
Go to sleep. Hope they don't
Okay.
find us.
Yeah, we can't stay here. Like if they come back the other way, they'll see us here.
They'll make a helmet out of you in particular, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not letting that happen.
I'm sure.
Do we have a map?
You do, but you only have a general idea where you are right now.
General idea is better than no idea.
If you want to make me grits your cartography check.
Would I be able to use my wanderer stuff to know where I am? Because I always recall the layout of terrain.
You probably have you can give her advantage, we'll say.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's gonna be what? Like a history?
Your perception, it'd be your proficiency because it'd be your cartography proficiency, and I'll say it's a intelligence proficiency. Intelligence check, add your proficiency.
That's a +2. Perfect. But I get an advantage.
You
so
do get advantage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
the assistance. So I'm just gonna roll.
It's like, oh no,
Where's
that's
my
here.
You're gonna roll a
no,
nat
that's
20.
there.
Ah!
Damn.
I know exactly
Damn.
where we are.
All right. So,
Great.
you have a general idea where you are exactly. If you were to bushwhack through there, you think you could come across some area where there was some old farmlands that were abandoned a couple of months ago, just because the approaching Dread Army, people moved away from them. Mostly abandoned. You always hear about people, staying behind because they're foolish, but...
Yeah.
And you might be able to cut through those to the castle again. Those would be a little open, but it's also areas that there probably is wild crops going, you might also be able to notice if things are coming after you a little bit more. And it's some easier roads rather than going through, heavy underbrush, which you would have to go through for a little while.
Okay.
I like how Chance is better with that.
I agree.
Agree.
We either dash or we sneak, though.
I mean, dashing will make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And
But
so
I'm
will
also
cling
not
clang.
good at Steve. Yeah. All of this.
But I mean, that's gonna cling clang whether we sneaking or sprinting.
So,
So,
as you're talking about this, I'm gonna point to my short legs and the halfling's short legs. So, and just go. Your dashing, remember, is faster than our dashing. So please, just whatever we decide, don't leave us in the dust.
Well, theoretically, our friend here, the Dragonborn Paladin, could carry you.
Nobody
He'd be
carries me.
pretty fast. Well,
Nobody carries me.
okay.
Tempting. Thank you.
It was just a suggestion. I'm sorry.
I know. My legs
Yeah.
work. If
Oh.
they're not working, you can carry me.
That's good news. I'm glad they work.
I
Fair enough.
scoot behind the Dragonborn and start, pulling off the belt that your armor's on.
Nope,
Being held on.
No.
Why are you touching him?
Sounds like we're going sneaky, and without this, he can move quietly.
No. Without this, my head becomes a hat. So we're leaving that on.
Pull it back on. So we can't run, and we can't sneak.
Well, we're not saying we can't sneak. We're just saying that there's a lower probability that we can sneak well.
I think.
Does anyone want a
sneaking
snack?
is
Um,
Really?
Smith, give me a perception check since you actually can understand things.
Because I've had the best rolls.
Okay.
Oh.
You hear some
I've had-
yelling off in the distance. You can't really understand what it is. It
I've
sounds
had
as if something was found, but you don't understand what's going on exactly. You just hear some noise.
Either
bad
way,
noises.
we need to go soon.
Let's just get out of here. Start out stealthy. We get seen. We go
Bolt.
That's fair.
Where are we going?
away.
Oh,
Back to the town.
Oh, that's nice.
stealthily.
all right.
I stay behind the wizard as we start to move to make sure that he doesn't wander off.
This is good. This is good.
I will go up towards the front, I guess, because I know the way back.
Okay. Give me
I'll
give me
be up
another
the front
round
as
of
well, in
give
case.
me another round of stealth then, if you're gonna be stealthy.
I also
Yep.
have out my short bow because fuck not being ready.
Oh, you can't. I rolled a 17 and a 6. Come on.
Stealth, you say? Huh?
Oh, whoa! You just disappear.
Yeah. Rogue.
That's 2 20s in a row.
That is. But
Yeah.
what town? That's a good question.
Let me just...
Next,
question
all
is-
ones.
Does it make up for our rolls?
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll find out. Okay.
But wait, there's more.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Bring out the...
All right. Okay.
Stretch.
You guys are kind of like wandering off as you can kind of hear some more noises kind of going on in the background, and we flash back one more time to the lot of you running down a hill as fast as you can. As all of a sudden, Rufus, you turn and see your life flash before your eyes as a series of arrows hail down towards you. You flinch for a second,
Crap.
and nothing happens except a drip on your face. You look up to see Jonas above you as you see something sticking through his chest.
Uh-oh.
Go! As you see him then draw his blade and turn and start walking, and as you kind of like just shove something in your hand, some kind of note covered now in his own blood. Get it to our people. As he walks off back up the hill.
But as he walks off, I just say, fight well.
Mm-hmm.
I just start booking it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I say fight well and then run.
I think I'd probably linger for a second,
Yeah,
because I
no,
wouldn't know what was happening. Really.
You could, yeah.
Are you wearing a cloak or pants?
Pants.
Okay, I grab you by the belt and start dragging
It's
you.
like, can he not wear both? He can wear
I
both,
could.
right?
I could.
He
But
could.
I'm currently wearing pants.
No,
yeah.
no. If you're wearing a
I was
cloak,
going
you're
for
not
the
allowed to wear
visible
pants.
thing.
Yeah.
I was going for the visible thing.
Yes.
Mm.
What he could grab and drag from you.
You either get a
I
cloak
would
or
be.
pants.
I would be asking as I'm being pulled away. Are you gonna be okay?
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
He's not. Let's go before we aren't okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So you begin to kind of move stealthily through the kind of woods, kind of pushing through the underbrush as much as you can. You begin to hear like kind of barks and howls, kind of echoing from various directions.
That didn't work.
They don't seem to be necessarily close to you yet. As you kind of push forward, you emerge out from the kind of underbrush into what appears to be kind of like an overgrown farm area with a large barn that's actually smoking, as if something's been through there lately and burned it. It doesn't seem to be completely destroyed. Give me a round of perception again.
Not the sheep.
No, the sheep.
Ah.
Oh, ugh.
One good roll that I've had. One.
Oh no, we're all
We don't
blind.
see anything.
I thought I had done horribly here, and all you jokers go and roll low.
Tim,
The smoke got in my eyes.
Tim, you actually are the only one that notices something.
That's too bad for everybody because I won't remember it in
You
about 2
hear
seconds.
a noise coming from the barn, some kind of like animal-like noise,
Okay.
Like a mooing or a...
like a neighing.
Okay.
Ooh,
So-
a horse.
A bunch of
Oh,
lizards.
related.
What does Tim say with this knowledge?
Yeah, because we don't know.
Where are we going again?
Onwards.
To the
Would
castle.
like, I don't know, some kind of animal be helpful?
Yes. If
Oh.
you had something
Yeah.
that could
Kinda
move
animal.
us quickly.
Like a
I
badger
don't know.
would not be very helpful.
Well, I don't know what it is, but we should check the barn.
And why do you
The
think
one
we
that's
should check
on
the barn?
fire.
I don't know. I heard something.
That's not helpful.
I'll go, and just start
I'll-
moving that
I'm-
way
I'm
stealthily.
gonna start moving that way stealthily too.
Yeah, we
All
still
right.
have our stealth rolls
Yeah, we'll
probably.
keep the stealth rolls from before.
Okay.
Kind of hitting the barn, you will find that inside there are the remains of 2 horses you can see right away. Cut open, kind of torn apart. You see another one that seems to be alive, kind of huddled over in the corner, injured. It doesn't look like it's... Like, one of its legs looks a little hurt. And then you can see a 4th one that seems to have, like, fallen over and managed to somehow crush 2 goblins and a hobgoblin and pin them.
It's the best horse in existence.
Yeah.
And like, they're all dead now. It looks like they got
Murder
stuck
horse.
and they never got out. It looks like the goblins just died, and the hobgoblin, like, you can see, like, claw marks as it was trying to get out, but somehow, like, it just... This horse managed to kill 3 of them.
Damn.
Epic horse.
This was pointless. One horse doesn't solve anything.
No.
One horse
but-
could carry
One
2
horse can carry this small people who can't move as quickly.
yeah.
It's also wounded.
No.
I might be able to see to that. Can I try do I have a medicine kit? I thought I had a medicine kit.
You can try a medicine check, yep.
You better hurry,
Yeah.
man.
Okay.
Burn.
Could lay on
burning.
hands.
I could lay on hands, but do I want to? Never mind. I go.
All right, you managed to bind its wounds. It seems to, like, probably not be quite as quick as it could be normally, but it's probably just as fast, at least, as the not short people now. Mm-hmm.
Good.
All right.
I'm gonna look for a ladder.
I immediately just lift him up and put him on.
Thank you for that.
Me too. Me too.
Yep, you too.
I thought you said nobody picks you up.
No, I said nobody carries me.
Oh, my mistake.
There's a difference.
Also,
My
you
mistake.
remembered
Fair
that.
Hey, I'm allowed to remember things.
And no one
What
talks
makes you think that I don't remember things? I remember lots of things. I remember that your name is Smith. This time, I know that you got on my case for it last time too. I remember that.
Moving.
All right, we're moving. Who's
Am I wearing pants?
us is better at, like, actually riding a horse? Can you even ride a horse?
Oh god, yeah, animal handling, fun time.
I have some skill in it.
I have +2,
I have +3.
so I'll let you drive.
All right, give me a
Because
animal handling check. Yeah. Okay. The horse was injured, but you did manage to tend to its wounds, so I'm gonna say you're pretty good with it. You definitely calmed it down a lot when you helped it out. You know, it was probably kind of half freaked out before. Now it's definitely feeling much better. You try to stealth along for a little while longer, and then the barking and yapping starts to get closer, and it becomes a full-on chase. As you're running through the farmlands, through overgrown wheat fields and cornfields and things like that, as you're parting way, as you can hear kind of barks and howls of the warg scouts chasing you down, kind of as the forefront of all this, the troops to come behind there. Fortunately for you, especially because of Gritz's expertise, you managed to actually, like, maneuver your way through the farmlands to add a little bit of, like, natural boundaries to them here and there. Like, you know a way through this kind of like short walls that they might not know and have to go all the way around for, and kind of like delay them here and there. Eventually, though, you hit some more underbrush and finally come upon the fields outside Castle Egelin. Bursting forth from the trees, you can see the castle ahead of you. Salvation! But as you're running across the field, you can hear the yaps and barks very close behind, snapping at your heels. Let me just roll something here.
Oh yes,
For
the
fun.
very not suspicious DM roll something.
Yeah.
La la, everything's fine.
Okay.
We're
Uh-oh.
all gonna die.
All right. There is a snap at your horse, and it takes some wounds, but it still manages to sort of stand up and keep going. It looks as if it's probably wouldn't take much more.
Philippe, you must run
Mhm.
as fast as you can.
Did you just name it Philippe?
I did.
Well, all right.
I like
then.
it. I like it.
Anybody get the reference?
I did not.
No.
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh.
Ah.
The horse's name Beauty and the
Hey,
Beast.
hey, Grits. You know how to use a bow? 'Cause there's one on my back.
Okay. Do I know how to use a bow?
Mhm.
Is this? It's
Unlikely.
a simple weapon, right?
It's a short bow, yeah.
Short
Yeah.
bow is simple, yeah. Simple
Yep.
range.
Then I would know. I would have proficiency with it.
Okay.
Well, why don't you try to keep them off our heels?
I will do that.
Mhm.
Mando, I wish I kept my hunter's trap right now. Just throw it down.
I guess if you want to make an attack roll against one of them, go ahead.
All right. Yeah. Sure. Do I have disadvantage or anything because we're riding a horse?
Probably disadvantage because you're like bouncing around on a horse.
Bouncing around.
Mhm.
I mean, unless I'm like cool, badass monk style, and I like stand up on the back of the horse. I'm like, yeah.
I mean,
I'm guessing that's a no, though.
let's
That
go
would
for
probably
no.
have to be another title
Horse-
check before you're.
Horse surfing! Horse
That would
Alright,
definitely be another
um,
check before then.
Yeah.
All right, so that's gonna be a +4 because I don't actually have one on my sheet. So 1d20 +4. Roll. Does a 12 hit?
Well, you didn't roll.
Oh,
with
hold on, that
disadvantage.
wasn't with disadvantage.
Yes.
Does a 10 hit?
Okay, so you fire off an arrow, and you're pretty sure it misses horribly, but then you kind of double take for a second, because then you realize there's an arrow sticking out of the goblin who you shot at's face, and you're pretty sure you didn't do that, but
The castle?
yes, as you turn, as on the walls, there are some guys backing you up.
Good.
Aw.
That
I
was
still
the
did
most
awesome, guys.
demoralizing.
I still
thing.
did awesome.
Can I do lightning breath behind me then?
Sure.
At the so
they'll,
yeah, I'm
they'll
gonna.
be turning anyway as soon as the hail of arrows comes, so you could kind of like pause and like
It's
kind of
spiteful at this
yeah,
point,
spiteful
sir.
this way,
Then
sure.
I would join you in that just because I'd think that something cool is happening, so I'd probably
Oh.
throw a firebolt out.
100% shooting an arrow.
Oh
as well.
damn!
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think I hit, but like it's cool.
I think I hit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
There's some
Not
fires
great
out,
damage,
a couple
but-
more goblins fall. One of the wargs gets killed, but like the half dozen of the remaining half dozen kind of scamper off back away then back towards the edge of the woods.
You said that a warg got killed?
Yes.
Did the goblin that was on it like die? Like, did it get shot as well, or did it fall?
That was the one that got its face shot off.
Damn.
Man, I did
Aw.
awesome.
Mhm.
Did you guys
You
see
wanted
that?
some interrogation time, huh, Tiv?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm talking about, so
This is very true. You do not know
If-
what you are talking about.
yeah.
If they're running now, can I go up and have a quick look over the bodies for anything that is out of the ordinary, anything that's interesting, like that wouldn't normally be on these soldiers? Because you never know.
Give me a medicine check then.
Okay.
Okay, the goblin does not look healthy.
Ooh, okay.
It looks like it might
um,
be suffering from maybe even malnutrition. And like it hasn't like eaten a lot, and it's kind of skinnier than normal. It looks like it's got like, like the sign of like bags under its eyes, as if it like doesn't get a lot of sleep or anything. It just doesn't look good.
Did we get any hobgoblins, or did we only get goblins when we
they
turned
only-
around and just killed a bunch?
Only goblins at this point in time, because it was the
Okay.
goblin warg scouts.
Yeah.
Were the ones that actually were able to catch up to you.
Yep.
All right. You're quickly able to move into the castle, where Gavin Moloch will be there to greet you. So I'm guessing you found something as you were being chased, or I'm hoping you did.
I
You're
reach
the
out
first.
my
You're
hand.
for the first party to return. Okay, he'll grab the note, kind of like look it over. Where's Jonas?
Unfortunately,
He's
stayed
dead.
behind.
What? What happened?
The arrow.
What arrow? There were arrows?
There was lots of arrows.
Yes.
God,
Ignored.
I
one
liked
other-
him.
At least one other band got caught.
This is
Their
This is-
numbers
this is news.
are a lot more.
And unfortunately, their numbers are larger than what we hoped for.
I can see. Jonas noted some of the things that he hoped you had all found here. Any other details that you can give me other than numbers and composition?
Ooh,
The
numbers.
goblins we killed outside, they did not look healthy. Lack of sleep, malnutrition, pushed to the edge.
Seems like they're pushing themselves hard in order to kill us off.
Well, they've definitely got the numbers if they push.
That might be their plan. We were hoping for a siege, but if they're planning just a full assault, that's not good. They might
We
have...
didn't see any siege weapons.
Not yet.
Sheer...
They do have the numbers, though.
If you've seen this, I doubt they'll wait. We might have a day at most before they will attack, I'm guessing. Especially if they think we're on to them. And it sounds like they have the numbers just to throw them against the wall and eventually to break. We don't have the numbers to hold out to that. God. By the gods. I'm going to have to speak to the Duke. Thank you for all your hard work. We're going to try to come up with a plan. Why don't you go relax? You could probably use it. Head to the Eagle's Nest. We'll probably call on you soon. At least toast one for Jonas for me. He's going to turn and leave.
He fought well as he leaves. I assume he fought well. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he did for his yeah.
Yep. All right. Oh, what do you folks want to do right now? You will be called upon soon, but you haven't yet.
I need a drink.
Yeah, that sucked. I guess to the Eagle's Nest, she says very unenthusiastically.
On the bright side, there's only 19,986 more to go.
Yeah.
No. No.
I like that you're taking notes of that.
All right. So you'll enter into the Eagle's Nest, and you'll see, like, there's a couple of soldiers seemingly on break, like getting a quick meal and a quick drink, before they probably have to return to the wall and start guarding it again. There's a couple of, like, regular people you usually see around here. You can see there's a half-orc and a human that normally kind of hang around here, a couple humans. And there's a young kind of, like, halfling that kind of works around here. Behind the bar, of course, is this kind of silvered-haired woman with a very low-cut shirt and very large chest that you recognize as Jen. Jen Shepherd, the owner of this establishment. She even has this, like, she's very beautiful and has, like, a kind of scar on her cheek that accentuates her mystery in a way and adds to her beauty. She'll kind of turn towards all of you and it's like, tough day at work, ladies and gentlemen.
Round of ale,
no
please.
Idea.
2 for me.
Yep.
All
2
right.
for me too.
Normal stuff, or is it a good stuff kind of day?
Do you have a proper Dwarven ale?
Might have a little bit left in the one cask we used to have.
Sign me up.
I'm going to flip a gold on the counter. Good stuff for all of us.
All right.
-3.
Ellie!
I drink water.
Ellie, honey. We need a couple rounds of the good stuff. A young girl who has the same silver kind of hair color and the same eye color comes out and delivers your drinks.
No relation.
All right. You'll sit and drink for a while. The soldiers will come and go. I mean, Jen will probably hit you up for small conversation. Are you telling her anything about what happened?
No.
First,
No.
yeah. Firstly, I will say, at some point, I will ask, did any of you have any idea what they were saying? They were talking about something.
Nope.
They weren't saying anything important.
Okay.
Mostly, we were being sneaky oppressors that they wanted to make a hat out of you.
Wait,
Oh, yeah, I would have. Yeah.
oppressors?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
We're not oppressors. They're attacking us.
Do you not know your history?
Can I
I
do
don't
a
know the
history roll
history.
here?
You
Because
can roll a history, yes.
Yay.
it's very much like a would I actually remember this type
Yeah.
of thing.
Nope.
The answer is
They're
no. I could not
attacking
remember
us.
this probably.
Oh, you rolled with disadvantage, Grits.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
Tantus, with my background, I would probably just know.
You would probably know enough about it, yes. Well,
Yeah,
you rolled the exact same thing.
The basic idea is all civilized land as we knew it came to be from pushing them into a small section of our known world and keeping them out with the giant walls and everything. That's why they are called oppressors.
Maybe because they shoot us with arrows. I don't know. Still think it's nonsense. We're not oppressors. I never oppressed anybody. Pretty sure they're the ones that killed my guild, so fine.
They killed my church. Well,
I don't
Sorry.
know these people.
I don't know these people.
I
They
love
killed
you
a
too.
lot of people.
They killed my village.
Nokren? Anybody? They kill anybody of yours?
They likely killed my father.
So what I'm hearing is maybe we, at some point in our collective past, oppressed them, and now they're just murdering everybody.
they're
Doesn't
doing
sound very
to
nice.
us what we basically did to them.
Well, you said we pushed them out. You didn't say we murdered them. There is a difference.
How do you think pushing someone out works?
So I will
Not
get up
peacefully.
That's a
and
good point.
physically give you a shove. Did I kill you in the process of that?
Oh, would
At
I
this
know
point,
any...
I would
That's the
probably step
thing.
away from the table. I'd probably go and sit in the corner somewhere else because I think like I'd both be distracted and also just wouldn't be having any of the conversation.
You
You're
see,
like, I'm not part.
that's
Yeah.
the whole thing about it. You shove, they want to shove back. It keeps growing until killing starts.
It's all a load of nonsense.
Okay.
Ugh.
Well, at
I'm
this
just
point,
rusty.
it's a matter of survival. It doesn't matter who started it.
Yeah.
Grits, can I see one of your maps? Tantus, can I like look for areas around the castle that they might set up a perimeter to try and trap us in? Because that's what we did to them. We pushed them into an area and trapped them in. What if they're trying to do that to us?
They could be doing that. It looks as if because you are like, to the south of the castle, approximately a mile goes into a very steep mountain range. That is one of the main boundaries of the Wildlands. There are a couple known passages into the Wildlands across this mountain range, but you are very close actually to one of those passages. So if they wanted to drive you out of the castle and you wanted to escape, you probably could head for the Wildlands. But again, it's a place of giant beasts and savage creatures that a couple individuals might be able to survive, but an entire city or civilization would just be
feast.
devoured. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Not that they might not try to do that, and you might just be reduced to, like, every person for themselves.
Unfortunately, the Dreadlords aren't interested in pushing anymore.
They just want to kill us.
I think we need to make a plan to keep the walls safer. I wonder if we have any amounts of oil or tar.
We'd have to, well, it wouldn't be us deciding all of that.
Yeah.
No.
If you want to bring up ideas, good luck.
Yeah, Gavin will probably accept your ideas. Whether or not he will follow them is a whole different thing.
We can
True, but it may be the best bet to keep them at bay so we can keep shooting arrows at them.
Quick question.
Sure.
Tim walked over to the corner.
Yeah, he's just hanging out
Yeah,
in the one corner.
I'm like over at the corner of like the bar area, I guess. So like just sitting pretty much on my own. I still have my drink with me, and I'm drinking it, but like not like really not doing much. And you guys might be able to tell that I seem to almost be talking to myself at this point.
Oh, great. Lovely.
Yeah. Just like
Having a
muttering,
conversation.
not like
Ooh,
not.
dear.
It's definitely not a conversation. It's definitely me just
Mumbling.
Mumbling at this point.
Okay, so
Now-
you're not like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. We should
Yeah, no,
definitely
no.
do that. Yeah. Oh,
Now-
kill them all? Okay.
Smith would be aware of what was happening here as well. So if he noticed it, he would know what was up, but no one else would at this point.
Got it.
Listen,
Because I think Grits would be definitely looking over like, what's he doing? Is he okay? Is something? Should we go check on him?
he does that a lot. He's
Okay.
fine. If you can really think of a good idea, I can probably get us an audience with the Duke.
Can I look at the map again and look for any area where a large amount of troops would easily be able to come from? Because that's probably the only way they're going to come.
Fortunately, your area is pretty geographically like inaccessible. You are probably the flattest area in the center of a large kind of valley area.
Okay.
So like there's like to the east and west there's some like rolling hills and stuff. You had gone north, kind of towards where the main road, which is not really much of a road. It's barely maintained. Even when there wasn't the threat of attack, the road is very long, and it probably on a good travel would have taken you a month to get to the kingdom of Centrine, which was the one that fell. Granted, it took like armies and battles and things like that a lot longer for people to travel this way, and Bell Bridge was about halfway to there, so it definitely.
So we're in a valley?
You are kind of in it's a very large valley, though, I would call it. It's kind of like you are lower, but it's like, think of like calling like an entire like an area the size of Philadelphia a valley, because it's a little lower. And like there's a lot of hills and stuff on the side.
We're
don't
likely
know
to
what
get a bit of
Philadelphia is
notice
like.
when they're coming.
Well, the thing
Are
is,
there-
it's about maybe like half a mile before where the forest line has been kind of driven back to on all sides.
How high are our walls?
About 50 feet.
Is the castle more of a square or a circle?
It's actually like it's a rectangle because it's like three squares. There's the central castle, the old castle, which you're currently in. Tim, roll me a history check. You might know this.
I'm also not in conversation with them right now.
No, but you might know it. Oh God,
I know it.
You know all about the castle.
Yeah.
If anybody
All
else wants
about
to roll me history, you might know stuff too.
Sure. I probably won't know anything.
I'll probably know nothing, but
highly
why
doubt
not? Ha I know more than Tesh.
I don't care.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you don't care. Okay, you don't. Okay, so you know that there's the central kind of castle area where the barracks are, the Duke's Manor, the church, all the shops, and a couple of small homes, like maybe like 24 homes, which have been packed full of people. You know that to the west side is the west wing of the castle, which is filled with large manor houses, and that area seems to be of a large number of actual wealthy nobles and to-do people. You're not exactly sure what was going on with them all moving into this one action there, but there is a big, like, wealthy people district. To the east is another square district, a little larger than that one, which is where the refugees are. So you're kind of like a big, elongated rectangle.
They're
And
mainly.
if any of you have
sorry.
been here for any period of time, it's up to you. You know, or you might have heard, that the final brick for the wall, for where the refugees was living, was put up about 3 months ago.
Oh no.
So there are only like about 5 actual buildings in there, and a lot of tents.
Oh dear.
So, just as a total side note, brick setting for castle walls because they're not like bricks that are not like actually bricks and they're so like separated. The last one being set 3 months ago means that wall is not that strong.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like,
that's probably the weak point.
Yeah.
Yes. Fortunately, that's on the southern side, and they're theoretically, at least for now, attacking from the north.
For now.
So they swarm
now.
around and just destroy.
Yeah, I
it.
was about to, they have the numbers to go all the way around is the problem.
Well, how like I mean I would know this.
The only good thing
presumably,
with
so like how large in like what's the perimeter of the castle with like outer wall?
Math time.
Math time.
Sorry,
I gotta like
I know.
estimate.
Just give me the length of
We
like
want the
how deep
circumference
the wall
in
is and how
inches.
The wall's
and how
about
wide
a
the wall.
5 foot area. What was the exact number? It's like I have to make sure I remember the actual decent numbers. It's probably about 2,000 feet east to west, maybe more.
Okay.
We'll say about that.
Yeah.
So it's about like, and 1,000 of that is
2 kilometers wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Is it like double that lengthwise or is it like triple that?
That's the kind of. It's actually about half that going north south.
Oh, okay. So that's the long side.
Yeah.
Ooh. So it's like 2 kilometer by 1 kilometer.
And
Oh,
the,
yeah,
they can
they
get
were
around that.
originally planning.
Oh,
for
dear.
they were probably originally planning for buildings in that other area,
Yeah.
which would have probably been like more like kind of like 3-story apartment kind of areas for families for maybe 1,000 people, and instead they have tents filled with like 2,000 people. So the
Yeah.
castle is overrun.
Yeah.
Way more people than like the area should have.
So the walls are basically bursting at the seams is what you're telling me.
At least on that area where it's the weakest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Squink. Sorry. Continue.
well,
Habit.
there
Sorry.
is one thing we could use to possibly our advantage with that wall being weaker. If they do start to swarm around the back,
Break it down
maybe we could topple the wall onto them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would
it's a
give
temporary
us a sort
thing
of
there.
a bottleneck point as well.
So,
Until they
well,
until they break in somewhere else.
well, here's an idea. As I was saying about if we could make some pitch or something, maybe we line that with the front of the castle to the north where they're coming from, forcing them to come around.
Stream kitty.
I'm still off in the corner at this point, so like I'm not participating in this. I wouldn't have anything to add to this. But I mean, if you guys know basic stuff about the castle, like you're probably fine to come up with something, I think. I'm over there just muttering still. I won't have come back yet, so.
If we can get enough manpower, we can set up rudimentary defenses out in the field quickly. They'd be mostly for show. Walls that archers can hide behind, and when the horde starts getting closer, retreat back into the castle. They'd be within range of archers, hopefully, and they'd be covered in oil so that when the enemies start using them, we can shoot them and light them on fire.
Be a suicide run for the archers.
Yeah, maybe, if they're not quick enough.
It's about
That's
this
also
point,
why you have spikes.
It's about this point in time, a kind of harried guard will kind of come in, kind of like looking around. Yes, you five, please, come with me. There's a meeting that's going to begin, and your presence has been requested to join.
I scull the drinks that I have left.
Yeah. Jug.
then
I'll
still
waddle
off
over
the
and
corner.
tap
Yeah.
Tim
Hmm.
on the shoulder. They need us. We gotta go.
Who are you?
It's me.
Tim.
It's,
Tim,
Oh, hi.
come on.
How are you
Come hither.
doing?
I'm
She's
fine.
just like, "Ugh,
Come on.
come on,
Okay.
come on,
All
Tim."
right. Yeah.
I'm following the guard.
You will be escorted through this section of town into the Duke's manor, and to what be appropriately his throne room. There you see a large number of what appears to be the captains, including Commander Moloch, all standing around, seemingly. You aren't the last ones there, though. It seems a few others kind of filter in, along with a couple others that you saw from the big meeting with all the scouts, though
some others made it back.
Not the numbers that you would have thought if every one of the scouts was invited.
We did.
As we're kind of going over that, I turn to Grits. Don't worry about Tib not remembering you. It only took like 17 years for him to remember me.
It's fine. It'll happen.
You can see the Duke, Richard Egelwin, kind of sitting on his throne, kind of like almost waiting. He's kind of tall, middle-aged. He's kind of got a scruffy beard and kind of brown, graying hair. You can see that probably what's been going on has grayed him a lot quicker than he would have liked. As soon as, like, everyone seems to arrive, he kind of, like, puts his hand on his chin and kind of looks at the crowd and begins to address you. 82 seasons. That's how long it has taken these creatures to destroy us. Battle after battle, we have lost. We have fallen. Man has fallen. Welcome, new citizen of the Empire. All of us have fallen. We had some victories. The first and second Dread Lords. We've tried to stay strong, but I've received 2 messages today. I have received a message of the troop sizes of our enemies and their forces. And just now I have received another message. Our enemies are massing for their assault as we speak. Perhaps their last assault ever. Even after all the battles we have fought against them, man and his allies have fought against them, we are still outnumbered 20 to 1. This evening will soon fall. I can feel the tension in the air. I can sense our end. I cannot deny by this nightfall that we will likely... that our ways, our cultures will be gone from this land. Our likes will never be seen again. But he kind of like takes his fist and he slams it down on the side of his throne. But if that is to be our destiny, let it be one of glory and honor. Let us show these monsters our courage, our determination, our steel. Let their dead pile high, their blood stain our walls. Gather from the people all those with the strength to lift sword or bow. We shall fight to the last man. The last breath we have on our lungs, blade in hand. If our civilization dies this night, let those that survive sing of our courage, sing of our bravery, and let our glory be emblazoned upon this world until the ends of time. To arms, men. Let us show these beasts the strength and resolves of men, even on our darkest nights. As then he turns and begins to don his own armor and weapons.
I give a slow clap.
Grits would step forward and kind of raise a hand. Your Highness, if you will.
Yes.
I don't believe you have the correct numbers. By our count, we expect we are more outnumbered than 20 to 1.
I was being liberal in including those citizens that can fight with us.
How much oil do we have?
I was just about to step up and ask that.
What do we need oil for?
From our supplies, perhaps 10 barrels left.
Oh, that is not enough for anything good.
Not indeed.
Why do you want oil?
Fire.
Oh, I like fire. What are we doing with fire?
Burning.
Gavin,
Ooh.
why don't you have these 5 join you? They prove themselves, well, worthy coming back a lot, well, in one piece. Your unfortunate friends came back, well, in less than one piece. You are the only ones that, well, you suffer the least amount of losses. I'm sorry to say.
Okay.
Commander Moloch will come up to you. I'm going to be at the main gate, above the main gate. If you wish, you can be at the walls with me. The men are assembling those from the town.
You should bring those barrels with you.
We'll probably bring a
No.
few to the main gate. It is the only egress into the town.
I think you should bring all of the barrels with you.
You can put his hand on your shoulder, and perhaps you're right.
I have one thing I'd
Okay.
like to do before we go to the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, there's out of character. I want to go speak with the person I know at the inn.
Okay.
I want to go ask him some stuff.
All right. Sure.
Are we coming with you at this point? Like, just as a, again,
If
character?
I'll say if you want to, sort of. He won't like say, do you want to come? But if you want to follow, I'll meet you on the wall. If not,
So it's like
'Cause
I'm going here.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I-
go
I'd-
here
I'd
because I need to
probably-
go to this.
I'd probably follow you because Tim is kind of fascinated by you and thinks that you're an interesting person. So he's gonna just follow you without
That's
really
fine.
thinking. So unless Steve here decides to pull me aside, and yes, I know I just used the wrong name out of character. Don't worry. In case Smith actually unless he pulls me away and is like, no, let him do his business. I'm probably gonna come with you. So.
If you don't mind him, just don't lose him. I'll be at the church.
I won't. Okay. So I head over to the Eagle's Nest.
Okay.
So I walk in and I look for Sebastian.
He'll be kind of sitting in one of the back corners, kind of sipping on some kind of probably cheap wine to himself.
Okay. I'm going to walk straight out to Sebastian. Do you know the situation?
A little bit.
Do you know anyone that's doing anything that the regular soldiers wouldn't know about? Something that might be useful?
Unfortunately, no. I'll probably assist in any way I can at the wall. But, well, I might be better down here in town in case things get hairy. My skills are, well, they aren't helping. They wouldn't help for long-range combat. Let's just say that.
Fair enough. Good luck. And then
And he'll kind of give this wry smile and be like, and to you, my friend, and to you.
give him the nod.
May he
and I go.
smile upon us both.
I would have been standing there beside you, looking completely absent-minded the whole time, but you may have noticed, I don't know if you did, but maybe you may have noticed, you might have picked up that I was paying a little more attention than I might have been letting on.
Okay. I don't think I would have noticed because at the moment I'm more worried. So I'd be a bit more frantic, and I was going there as like a last-ditch hope
Yeah.
for something.
Then you wouldn't have noticed at all. You would have just seen
Yeah.
me being my absent-minded self. And as far as your friend probably knew, I was just a random patron who was standing nearby.
Yep, so I'm just gonna turn around. Come on, we gotta go get your friend.
Okay.
I want to try to quickly follow the commander towards the wall and see if I can get his ear for a moment.
Sure. What's up?
I would suggest having the barrels on the wall. Maybe we could try to strategically place them so many on a wall, so when they do start to amass around them, we can throw them down and light them.
I'm pretty sure that the main gate is where we should probably have them. I've heard some tales from the survivors of Century. They threw themselves quite literally on the door until the pure mass of bodies was enough to break them open. They probably killed countless numbers of themselves just to invade the main gates of the city. It was insane. It was a shower of blood and gore. And if that is their strategy to sacrifice themselves, they might do it again here.
I also want to point out that the newer wall is probably one of the weaker points as well.
I realize this.
I would suggest anybody that we could spare that isn't as handy with a weapon, we place back there.
I can probably
And in
get some
case-
of the elderly and wounded to have some weapons and guard it.
Well, I was thinking more if they try to swarm that wall, we try to topple it on them.
The thing is, it might be more secure than we thought. Marcades was supposed to have worked some kind of magic on it to set it quicker. I don't know much about spells and spellcraft, and I don't even know if it actually worked. But he said he thought he could, so hopefully...
I have a question at this point.
Yes.
Out of character, sorry,
Uh-huh.
partially. Are we, like, this is specifically to you, Tesh, were we heading straight to the wall after that?
I think we were heading to the church to pick up your friend.
Okay, no.
Also,
then
I
fair
was
enough.
going to say, do you want to, since he was taking notes, do you want to give him a bit of a description about Sebastian? Or do
sure.
you want me to do that? I think I have
if
notes somewhere.
he's taking notes...
I was taking mental note. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
But, like, I mean, yeah,
I can describe Sebastian, though, quickly, if you want to hear about him. Sebastian, you guys have probably noticed him anyway. He's in the bar, like, all the time. Always seemingly drinking, like, a thing of wine. He's pale, with ebon black hair, kind of sunken in eyes. He only has one arm, and he's always in kind of black robes. And the only person he seems to talk to is, of course, your friend Nokren there.
Would I have gotten any weird impressions off of him or anything? Like, I mean, probably not, right? And it's too late for me to do a roll anyway. But I was just curious, like, if I anything natural that I would have picked up.
If you weren't you'd probably be creeped out by
Okay.
him.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Also, he smelled funny. You couldn't
Okay.
place
Yeah.
it,
I
but he
would have.
smelled
I would have
funny.
definitely noticed. I would have definitely noticed that. So. Okay.
I'll say you wouldn't have, like, you got all of you kind of have, like, noticed he probably smells funny, but, like, you particularly, because you probably were hanging around a little bit more. No one really seems to, like, get really close to him anyway. He kind of keeps to himself, so. Anyway. Okay, anything else with your conversation with Commander Malik?
Is there a murder hole above the gatehouse?
Unfortunately, no. It's straight on the walls for all the troops. Fortunately, there's walking rooms of troops. The towers have a couple murder holes in them. But the towers are, as you can see, at the four corners of the original central area here, and the two corners of the new areas. So we only have 8 main towers. They are, unfortunately, a little higher, and we will station a good number of troops in them with the murder holes we have, but...
Okay. Ideas dwindling.
Yeah. I made the mistake of reading chat.
Are we? Now, Tesh, like you and I probably are talking a little bit on the way. Obviously, like for me, talking is very fleeting and not really, necessarily useful. But did you have any I don't know? Did you have anything? That
I
you
might
wanted to
ask, like, how you know Smith.
Oh, yeah. Well,
at some point,
I'd just say, who's Smith?
Your friend, the.
What does he look like? Tell me what he looks like. I'm good with faces. Really, really bad with names, but I'm good with faces.
This is where I make sure I wrote things down. Crap. Nope. Don't have my notes. I didn't write this down. Oops.
Brown hair, brown eyes,
Mistake.
short, scraggly brown beard.
Yeah, so, brown hair, brown eyes, beard.
Oh, Oren. Yeah, he's a fun guy. Okay.
Wait. Orn?
Yeah.
I thought his name was Smith.
Oh, no. Hold on. I'm really bad with names.
Okay. So how did
wait,
you meet
Rufus?
your friend?
Is his name Rufus?
No. Never mind. Just don't worry.
You said Smith, right?
Yes.
Tall one. Well, I mean, shorter than me, but tall one.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. He pulls me by the belt sometimes. I don't like that.
Yes, he does that
Yeah.
usually, seemingly to save your life, apparently.
Oh, I met him at a church. Yeah, I kind of wandered off there at one point. I think I was lost in thought. Sometimes it just happens. You get to this point where you start thinking things and then you wind up somewhere else.
Have you always been like this?
I don't know. What am I like?
I don't know what I expected. And keep moving.
Grits, what are you doing?
So I have a great plan.
Okay.
Peace, guys. I duck out of the hall and everything after the meeting.
Mhm.
I am
Bolting?
going to I'm bolting with my little legs because I got an idea. It's not a very
Okay.
good idea, but it's an idea. With my dwarven speed, like lightning.
Hey, it's not good to take drugs now.
Yeah, dwarven speed. It's the good stuff. I am going to actually go over to the Iron
Maiden?
Fist Brothers.
Okay.
So I'm going to go into, and I didn't grab both their names, so I'm going to go into I know that one runs a weapon shop and one runs the armor shop.
Yeah, well, technically they're side by side, and they do have a joint, sign over top of it. It's the Iron Fist Brothers Metal and Works. It's just sort
Okay.
of like they've divided their shop in half, quite literally, with a wall.
Oh, okay.
So it's sort of like, and it's like a haphazard, wooden wall put in the middle of the building.
Got it.
So it's it's really dumb.
It's really dumb. Okay, so I'm going to go in the armor side first,
Mhm.
whichever one owns that side. Which one
Yes.
is it?
Let me tell you for sure. I have to remember because
I can't.
it's
I didn't catch their names.
Oh. Not catching their names. Let's see here. It is. Okay. Tovin.
Tovin.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then the other one is.
Dovin. They are identical twins.
So they're both named Tovin?
No, one's Tovin and one's Dovin.
Oh!
I
heard
think you said
Tobin and
Tobin and Tobin.
I definitely thought you said Tobin and Tobin.
Hey,
That's
Tobin.
like me with
Yes,
names, man.
yes.
Come on.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into the armor one, which is Tovin with a T, guys.
Yes.
No,
No, that's the
and
weapon one.
walking.
Dovin with the
Mr.
D is the armor one.
Mr.
armor's
D
the-
and Mr. D?
Yeah.
So
Dovin for
whichever one makes armor.
defense.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm
Dovin
gonna-
for defense.
Ah, Dovin for defense. Okay, so I'm gonna walk in and find wherever he's at,
Mhm.
and I am going to issue a sort of a challenge to him,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna say that my good sir Dovin, your brother next door seems to believe that he can make more and better quality caltrops faster than you can.
Well then, we'll
Like
see
it.
about that. The
I'll be back
bastard.
later to get as many. I or one of my companions will be back to retrieve as many caltrops as you can make, as fast as you can.
Okay. And I'm
And
guessing you're gonna do the
decide-
same thing on the other side.
Yep,
It,
I'm gonna
they'll start
scuttle
working
over.
on it. Yeah. That will
And
definitely
then I'm
get them
gonna
working
head to the
on
wall.
it. Okay.
I'll drop.
Smith, what are you doing at the church before the others arrive for you? Are you doing anything in particular?
I walk in and find Sister Olivia
Uh-huh.
and request that she gets the fire chalice and a ceremonial coin prepared.
I'll do my best, but I was going to head to the areas of the refugees. If something should happen, stray arrows, I will be needed.
It's just for a quick ceremony of my own.
All right. I can grab things quickly before I leave. She'll do so, leave them out, and then dismiss her, give you farewells and dismiss herself and head out to get to work herself.
Yeah. So, I know, Tesh and Winter, I do not have your names memorized, and I keep looking over at, like,
okay.
roll 20.
Tim and Nokren.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim and Nokren.
Mhm.
Yeah, you guys don't have your names set at roll 20, so I can't see it.
Should do that.
I don't even know how to do that, so
We'll do that in between shows. We'll
Cool.
talk about it.
yeah.
So you guys, Tim and Nokren, would pretty much walk in to me having the chalice, the inside be lit on fire, and I am doing quick prayer over it.
I'm gonna be fairly excited by the fire, like just fairly happy that it's there. I just like it. It's not like to the fascination point where it's disturbing. It's just like I get happier when there's fire, just a little bit, more pleasant, really. And I would like kind of start waving and say, "Oh, hi, Dalkin. Hi."
Not acknowledging you at all.
Yeah. And then I'd be like, "Oh, that's not right. Hold on. Hager? Is that your... Oh, what did you say it was? What's it...
Smith.
Oh, Smith! Smith!
Couple minutes go by, and I hold out the coin and drop it in, and it pretty much just vanishes in the fire. It doesn't melt or anything like that. It just goes away.
That was cool.
Okay.
I don't know that I would have seen it, but that was
Neat
cool.
trick.
Pull out the chalice, go and put it away somewhere. Smith,
Yeah.
that's the name.
Smith.
You will one of these days remember it.
I don't know about that. I hope so.
I'm gonna turn to you and just say, has he always been like this?
For the 17 years I've known him, yes.
Okay.
Heading all to the wall then?
Yep. Well, I am. If they are.
Yep.
That's,
might, like-
On my way.
I might like distractedly wander off a little bit at times, but I'm sure Smith's gonna keep me.
oh yeah, occasionally I just kind of...
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we need
Oh.
a child leash for him? One of the
Pretty
little
much,
yeah.
harnesses?
Yeah.
Actually, if that's the case, if he does do like a little wander off and wander back, I'm gonna turn to Smith and say, is he gonna be good in combat?
You have no idea.
Okay.
Obviously.
Neither does he.
So you'll all eventually then head to the walls and position yourself above the main gate. The commander, of course, Commander Malik is there next to you, along with a number of troops. You've positioned the barrels ready to pour them down and light basically anything that's trying to get into the main gates on fire.
I would like to catch Malik's attention as quickly as possible,
Mhm.
as soon as I get there, and let him know I have put in a large order with the Iron Fist brothers, Dovin and Tovin. They should have a crap ton of caltrops ready for you. If you could start perhaps sending men with wheelbarrows to start collecting those.
I'll see what I can do, but
And I will
it's probably going to
also
take them a
give
little
him-
time anyway, because there isn't a
Yeah.
lot of excess iron to scrap together at this point in time. So
There are going to be 2 caltrops.
Hey, I have one.
And I am gonna also pull out like 2 gold to give it to him
Mhm.
in case he needs money for payment or something.
he's going to
like,
kind of like look at it and like give it back and be like, if we're getting it, it'll be on our tab, basically.
okay. I did tell them that they
will
were
pay them after the crisis is over.
In other
Awesome.
words,
If we survive.
when they're dead.
Yeah.
All right. So the day gets late. All the caltrops.
I love that.
All the caltrops. And as the sun begins to set, it's all of you. Give me perception checks.
Ooh, ooh,
Okay.
Oh, this has
good
been
piece.
persistently my best roll. Yeah.
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 Continues.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay.
I
Alright.
look at the floor.
Then, Grits, Tim, Smith, the 3 of you actually begin to notice this first. First, out in the forest, as like the sun's beginning to set, you begin to notice little glows At first, you're not sure what it is. And as it begins to get darker, you begin to realize that it's the setting sun causing eyes to glow red.
Ooh, no.
At first, it's just a few, and then more, and more, and more at the edge of the forest, until it seems like a sea of them out in the darkness.
So,
As the sun is beginning to go down below the mountains, you begin to hear thump, 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 and then you hear this kind of chant, muttering. It seems like all the goblins are singing this, a little song, which, Smith, you understand.
Yeah.
And they keep repeating this. It's burn, slay, kill, maim, man shall die, blood shall rain, break the bones, chew the flesh, cook the babies and eat them fast. They will rot and we will sing, for this night is our time.
Ooh.
Let them bleed, let them cry. When night falls, they all die.
So, as they keep repeating it, I slowly just like start sitting there doing this, muttering it to myself, like, this is
Really?
actually kind of catchy.
And you'll probably you'll notice that that rattled me a bit. Like I'll be a little bit shaken and I'll have started to mutter. That it's kind of like I did at the bar. I'll be muttering something and Smith will know exactly what it is. He'll know exactly what I'm saying. But I'm just sitting there muttering and it's quiet. No one would be able to hear it
A
really
rumble
unless
echoes over all of you, filling the entire kind of valley area you are in with this kind of shaking. As then, you see some flashes off in the distance, which kind of light up the shapes in the forest even more. And the sky tears open with rain down upon all of you, as if to accentuate what's going on.
Are the
Fire's a
torches still
problem.
lit?
Some of them are. Those that were oil-soaked are indeed fighting against the good fight as best they can.
That's a
I,
problem.
Nokren will look up and just be like, really?
I
Alright.
pick up one of the torches that are still burning real quick and just wave it in front of Tim's face.
Mhm.
We need you focused tonight.
Focus. Focus. Hey.
All of a sudden, you see these kind of red dots streaking towards you, and then you realize fire arrows. All right, everybody's getting attacked by fire arrow.
Duck.
Perfect.
Dive to the ground.
Grits, what's your AC?
14.
Okay, you will be hit by a fire arrow.
Oh, no.
Nokren is certainly missed.
Everyone's fucking dead.
Oh god, Rufus,
Off
you're
out of the
fine.
air.
Smith, you're fine. And Tim, you're fine. All right then.
I probably just stood there, didn't move at all.
What are the guys?
I was probably pretty pumped about the fire.
Quick
In all
question.
honesty.
Yes.
What's everybody's dex?
Oh.
Bad.
16.
16.
No, yeah, 12.
12.
I have the same AC as you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Joe does too.
You'll take 4 damage, 2 piercing and 2 fire, as the kind of arrow kind of hits into your shoulder, as there's arrows raining down and some are hitting behind the wall and stuff. There's this short rain. You're at a pretty defendable position, so you get a couple shots that are going through the defenses of the wall, and some are going over your head, and a couple of other soldiers are getting hit. A couple people start shooting back some arrows before Commander Moloch kind of puts his arm out and yells, "Not now, men! They're just taking pot shots. Wait until they're closer. Anybody that's wounded, get some treatment from the clerics and get back up here." He's going to kind of take a look behind, and he's going to turn to you 4. It looks as if they're trying to set the place on fire. It looks like a couple are starting down there. Can you 4 handle it quickly? If we can't have the castle burning down behind us.
5 of us or 4 of
Oh,
us?
sorry, 5.
How high is this wall?
I'm like, do I not count because I
50
took
feet.
damage?
No.
No, you must
What
see a
about-
cleric.
Wall's about 50 feet. The towers...
How much is that?
Okay,
In
yes,
meters?
let me
Are you
do some
looking
quick
for in
conversions.
meters?
It's 2.5 feet per meter, so It's,
How many buildings high?
It's like
20 meters. 20 meters.
It's like
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So yeah, let's not jump from that.
It's essentially 4 stories, if that
Okay.
helps.
Yeah, which is 46 damage if you jump that.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's just splat. No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start sprinting down to try and help with the fire because I don't have anything ranged. So this is gonna be me.
Somewhat unsurprisingly, probably casted mage armor on myself real quick.
Okay.
Because as much as I love the fire, I'm not an idiot.
Yep.
So
I mean, it looks as if it's the rain is helping, but they're using like oil-soaked arrows to try to start these, and getting them in some of the buildings is like, you know, getting the buildings themselves on fire and stuff too. You can kind of run down there, help put out some fires. You're like kind of like running around, assisting it. Eventually, like, you will hear a familiar voice yelling, "Can someone help me? Please help! The bar is on fire!"
dang it, Jen.
Okay. Sprinting off. How far away is the bar from the wall? Like, if I go to the bar, will I not be able to help?
It
all
is
get
like
sprayed?
it is.
Well, isn't it
I
in
would
the
say
inner
It's
circle?
within the inner area here, but unfortunately, it's in that central area, so it's like behind the main walls. There's a number of like houses behind the one part of the main, like going from the north, and then the bar, and then you get to the shops, and then the cathedral, basically. So
Okay, I'm gonna say shit and just dash as fast as I can to try and help.
All right.
I would probably follow. As well, so I can run relatively quickly. Like, not, I don't know if I'd keep up exactly, but I'd know where I was going to.
I think realistically, I'm the same sort of speed. I don't have anything.
I just wasn't sure. So
yeah. I'm big, but I'm big and
yeah, I got you.
lumbering.
Yeah, I got
I'm
you.
not going to
pretty
even
much.
try to make that. I'm going to try to stay around and help with close fires, so
Ditto.
if need be, I can get back up, and because I do have ranged.
Yeah.
I'm keeping Tim in my sight.
Okay. You'll still all be around in that area because most of the arrows that did arch over the wall kind of hit into the households and the bar area, and then a couple hit into where the shops were. You know, they did kind of... They still had pretty extreme range, so they're kind of like... Only a couple lucky shots are seeming to take hold. You guys spend some time, and as you kind of like seemingly put out the last fire with Nokren, you and Tim kind of like patting out one like with like a cloak or a cloth, like that's like kind of like on the side of the bar, you know, like that's trying to like catch fire, like no kind of thing. You guys are all, of course, soaked, and all of a sudden the rain stops. You still hear the thunder and lightning, but it's like as if like just the sheets of water just ended.
We wanted you.
And then there's some quiet for a second. And then you hear...
Oh, shit. Turn around, start running back towards the wall.
Yeah.
As you begin
I'm going to
to turn...
look up.
As soon as you begin to turn and move towards the wall, you begin to feel something strange. A sort of shaking.
Is this the thing that would be familiar to me?
Not yet.
Okay.
Nokren,
Just
you and
check.
Tim, because you're close to the bar, can hear this kind of shaking noise from all the glass and bottles in the bar. As if it's like a rising earthquake.
Shit.
And then you hear some crashing glass. It begins worse and worse until you feel as if all of you are jarring and you fall to the ground as the earth shakes and rattles. And the ground begins to roar as if being torn apart by some kind of inhuman noise, the likes of which you have never heard.
I want to stab a
As
glaive
then
into the ground and
something-
hold on to it.
Yeah, something begins to glow above you. And you all look up. As if
I would have
this-
sat down
Yeah.
at this point and looked up.
as the sky tears open and a great big black-red eye is staring down at all of you.
I'll be rocking back and forth and muttering again at this point. Like, yeah.
You just kind of sit there for a second, like, looking at it. Until you begin to realize the pupil of the eye isn't just, like, it isn't there. It's a hole into seemingly nothingness, an empty blackness that seems to pierce the very heavens themselves. You stare longer at it, as you begin to see, like, some of you with, I'll just give you their passive perceptions. Those of you with decent perceptions can see there's these almost little things at the edges of the pupil, and you begin to realize they're teeth at the edge of the pupil. As
I would get out my symbol, this would be the first time you guys would have ever seen me actually get out the symbol. I'm just going to hold it.
Mm-hmm. Massive black tendrils kind of emerge from the clouds off to the sides as you see them kind of go down out of sight beyond the walls, and you just hear them crashing down to the ground all around the castle in every direction. You hear screams of other creatures outside the walls. They keep piercing down with more screams. You can hear panic throughout the castle as there's this kind of, the shaking still continues. As then you begin to realize these tendrils are forming together some kind of barrier all around you.
Yay!
Okay, I'm going to start making my way to the wall.
At least we're not
to make my way to the wall.
under assault anymore.
I'm making my way to the wall too.
Give me strength saving throws because you're still. It's still in the middle of an earthquake.
Oh, I'm still sitting down. I'm
We
not
all
moving.
need strength saving throws?
Okay. Yes. Any of you that are trying to move around because you're in like a severe earthquake at the same time.
I'm going to try. I'm going to try and catch them as they stumble.
Nokren, you're actually managing to make it pretty well. You will make it to like about the door to the stairs that lead up to the wall before like it seemingly finishes its task.
Oh, okay.
You kind of look up again and you realize you're getting closer to the eye now.
Oh. No.
The hole of nothingness. And then the screaming begins. Blood-curdling screaming. As you begin to notice those around you, you just see them begin to disintegrate away, and whatever's going off of them being drawn up into the hole. And you see parts of the castle doing that too. As everything is just disintegrating away into nothingness. And then each of you realize it's happening to you too. But you aren't sure if the screams you hear are your own at this point in time, or the others around you. As everything around you crumbles into dust, into nothingness, and you feel nothing anymore. Only the echoing of the screams.
Well.
And then, as all of your visions go black, only darkness remains. And we'll take our break.
What?
Well,
Bum, bum, ba-da-ba-ba.
I'm checking.
I pee into the eye.
You've disintegrated. Too bad. Also, that would be a heck of an arc.
Little did you know, halflings have very good arcing ability.
So we're gonna take our short break because we did start a little later. So we're just gonna take our one break here. So get a drink, get some snack, go to the bathroom, etc.
Wipe with sticky juice everywhere.
Yeah, we'll be back in a couple of minutes to find out what happens to everyone after this very strange and terrible experience has occurred to them.
This is a long way of saying rocks fall, everyone dies.
Yeah, this is the longest rocks fall, everyone dies. He's in it for the long con, guys.
Hey.
Anyway, we'll be back in a couple of minutes. See you later.